Good morning. Welcome, everyone. We're so glad you're here. Thank you for joining us as we begin our exploration of paying attention this month. If you're a newcomer this morning, we'd like to extend a special welcome to you. We're so glad you're here. If you'd like to know about what's going on at the fellowship 7 days a week, please give us your email address. If you're here at the fellowship, you can fill out the blue welcome card and leave it on your chair or give it to a greeter. And if you're online, go to the link in the chat to fill out our welcome card. Current members can also use that blue card to update their information. We hope you'll stay for coffee and conversation after the service so we can get to know each other and stay online to chat on Zoom. Since we're here in a time of ministry and covenant, we're asking that we hold all applause until the end of the service. Jazz hands can work if you feel so moved, and we can thank everyone for their contributions at the end of the service. And to begin, Miriam would like to provide us with an update on our generosity campaign this year.
Good morning. It is my great and rare pleasure to share that we have exceeded our generosity goal. I think we can applaud. I will ask for an exemption. Do I get an exemption? And there you go. The goal was $160,000, which I have to tell you, I thought was a little ambitious because it was a little over 6% more than we collected last year. However, we collected $166,000, which was 10% over last year. Well done, people. If you have not gotten your pledge in, don't think we won't still take it, though, because we will. I want to tell you just a couple things about how it is that we got 10% over our goal. First of all, we accomplished this because we have 5 new members and 1 new pledging friend. And also, very importantly, we had a lot of generous members. 41 members increased their pledge by an average of 18%. This is the way we take care of each other here at Cuff. And your gifts will equal many possibilities in the year ahead. How about you? Are you excited about the year ahead? Because I sure am. And not only because of this and the new minister, but we have lots of things going on that are exciting. So I want to thank everyone who made this possible. And if you worked on the campaign, if you were a waiter at the event, if you made calls, if you recorded information, I want you to stand so that we can all thank those who made our generosity campaign possible. So Kathy, Jan, you get to stand. Everybody, let's stand. Come on. Okay. All right. And of course, the biggest thank you is to all of you who reached deep and who made this happen. Thank you.
It's now time for announcements before the service starts. If you want to submit an announcement to be read, please write it on a slip of paper now. They're in the basket in the back row. And feel free to bring it up or raise your hand if you have a written announcement ready to collect. You may also raise your hand if you need us to come to you for an announcement. If you're on Zoom, put your announcement in the chat box at this time. There are always announcements on the back of your printed order of service, and we try not to repeat those verbally. The same announcements are in the email that go out every Sunday morning and more that don't fit on the printed page. So the Southern Illinois Democratic Socialists have some ongoing initiatives that they would like donations for. Is there a specific announcement or? Support local immigrant families fighting ICE. It's a fund used to help those families. And there is a Venmo account and a barcode that you can, so see me after if you're interested in doing that, or see, sorry, Edie. It's age, I apologize. Any announcements on Zoom? Any other announcements? Okay. So please center yourselves with the music of our prelude.
Okay, this month, our theme is paying attention, and there's so much upsetting stuff that we need to pay attention to, obviously. But one of the things I don't want us to forget is to pay attention to all the budding life around us at this beautiful waking time of year. Spring and summer, winter, fall, giant city has them all. Horse trails, hiking, rocks and streams, enough to fill your outdoor dreams. Bluffs and canyons, large and small, and intermittent waterfalls. Giant city has them all. In spring with buds and brand new leaves, the trees awake from winter's dreams. Red buds blush with bloom so sweet, clouds of dogwood white and neat. And don't forget to wipe your feet before you take the trails. That's what those brushes are for. In summer, camped in shade of trees, you may feel a pleasant breeze. Hiking's best in early morn, but watch for sudden thunderstorms. And don't forget to wipe your feet, and don't forget to spray with DEET, so ticks don't hitch a ride. In fall leaves, chlorophyll shuts down, so colors red, gold, orange, and brown adorn trees' crowns against full sky, where wild geese go winging by. The intermittent streams go dry. But don't forget to wipe your feet, and don't forget to spray with DEET before you take the trails. In winter, slumbering trees reveal some views of bluffs, their leaves concealed. Winds sing a tune in cold gray skies. Upon the currents, vultures glide. Neath crisp brown leaves, the chipmunks hide. And don't forget to wipe your feet. You do not have to spray with DEET, but layer your clothing warm and neat before you take the trails.
So welcome again to the Carbondale Unitarian Fellowship, located on the unceded traditional lands of the first people of present-day Southern Illinois, the Miami, Osage, Kaskaskia, and Quapaw. The fellowship is a member congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Association, sharing the good news of Unitarian Universalism with folks throughout the river region. Our good news is a message of love, freedom, reason, respect, and justice as the basis for religious community. I'm Kathy O'Laughlin. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm a member of the board, the generosity team, the reproductive justice team, and a few other things. This morning, I'm your Sunday service facilitator. We're a congregation of open minds and hearts, all ages, all colors, all genders, all abilities, all kinds of wealth, and all kinds of love. Now I invite those who are online to select gallery views so we can wave at each other, connecting our congregation over space. So currently CUF is lay-led with the Sunday services team planning our services using the rich spirit and many talents of our congregation's members and friends. In addition to members, services may include guest speakers and ministers. Please join us on Sunday mornings or at our Wednesday evening Vespers on Zoom as we await our new minister who will be coming in August.
My name is Eric Terrell. I he, him mostly. I'm here to share the lighting of our chalice. So for our chalice today, I selected a piece by Kathy Gelfin called Ending is the Beginning. We call forth the life of our faith by igniting our chalice. This spark of new beginnings invites us into a sacred space to reflect where we have been and where we are going. Even knowing that this particular flame will intentionally end with our ritual extinguishing, we fear not its end. For we know with brave hearts that from every ending of our lives, we are sent forth to make a new beginning. I'll try again. The chalice is lit.
Do the purple.
Oh yeah, I can do that too. And now with intention, Kathy puts a pebble in our bowl of water, letting it ripple out beyond our knowing. All are invited to do the same here at the fellowship or at home to mark a joy, sorrow, or any other feeling you have during the musical parts of the service. Let me do the next part too.
We now will have our hymn. Please rise as you're willing and able to join us in singing A Promise Through the Ages Rings. It's number 344 in the gray hymnal. Elena will accompany us on the piano and will play it through before we begin singing. In our fellowship, we share so many things: time, efforts, talents, spirit, and money. We share with this fellowship and for the needs of the fellowship, but we also share with our greater community beyond these walls. You may contribute to the fellowship or to our social action offering recipient from April, which is the Murfreesboro Food Pantry. There is more information about the food pantry in your order of service. Checks should be made payable to CUF, and you can also donate online with PayPal. The link is in the chat and in your order of service. Use the check memo area or the note area in PayPal if you wish to specify a contribution to the Murfreesboro Food Pantry. Also remember that your spare change makes a difference. All the coins collected during the offering are sent to the UUA Annual Program Fund, which provides important resources to UU congregations, including CUF. Please join me now in our unison offering reading, which is number 674. The words are in your order of service and on the screen. Let there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this place, which is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and of hope, for we are now the keepers of the dream. Your contributions in all forms are gratefully received.
Hello. Yeah. It occurred to me that the theme for this month, paying attention, lends itself pretty well to playing music, because songs are really about helping us think about and pay attention to whatever the song is about. It's about paying attention. So I'm going to try one by John Fogerty, Creedence Clearwater Revival, called Have You Ever Seen the Rain? Sing along if you know it. Yeah. Oops. Someone told me long ago, there's a calm before the storm. I know it's been coming for some time. When it's over, so they say, it'll rain a sunny day. I know, shining down like water. Well, I want to know, have you ever seen the rain? I want to know, have you ever seen the rain coming down on a sunny day? Yesterday and days before, sun is cold and rain is hard. I know, been that way for all my time. Till forever on it goes, through the circle fast and slow. I know, it can't stop, I wonder. I want to know, have you ever seen the rain? I want to know, have you ever seen the rain coming down on a sunny day? I want to know, have you ever seen the rain? I want to know, have you ever seen the rain coming down on a sunny day?
So I'll share a reading, Rolling Away the Stone by Sarah Moores Campbell. In the tomb of the soul, we carry secret yearnings, pains, frustrations, loneliness, fears, regrets, worries. In the tomb of the soul, we take refuge from the world and its heaviness. In the tomb of the soul, we wrap ourselves in the security of darkness. Sometimes this is a comfort. Sometimes it is an escape. Sometimes it prepares us for experience. Sometimes it insulates us from life. Sometimes this tomb, life gives us time to feel the pain of the world and reach out to heal others. Sometimes it numbs us and locks us up with our own concerns. In this season where light and dark balance the day, we seek balance for ourselves. Grateful for the darkness that has nourished us, we push away the stone and invite the light to awaken us to the possibilities within us and among us, possibilities for new life in ourselves and in our world. I now invite Eric to share with us so we can rewind, refresh, and rejoice.
Have one. We got that chest thing going through our house that so many of the rest of us have felt, so I'm fortunately been able to avoid it, but my body knows I'm on teacher break right now, so who knows what it's going to decide to inflict me on tomorrow, so a day off. I love having the opportunity to speak on days like this. These larger holy days of the faith tradition I was raised in, Christianity. And then to lift up what connects my chosen faith, Unitarian Universalism, to the larger religious community. And then what we do to kind of turn it on its head, because that's what we do. I know in preparing for this speaking today, it was challenging looking at the Unitarian Universalist Association's webpage, looking for resources, being out there, seeing what's available. It's interestingly lacking from my perspective. And I think that links back to the challenges that some of us face on days like this. What do we do with this? How do we deal with this thing that has been a part of so much of our lives in some form or fashion, but hasn't necessarily been a positive experience? The joy during our silent time to hear the children outside running around, getting eggs, doing those things, the sound, the blessing. But then where do the rest of us stand from that? Or a lot of us stand where this was definitely not something that was lifted up, but something that was definitely kind of almost an albatross, certainly around my neck, as I was fighting through my fundamentalist Christian background to try and make sense of all of this. And then within the bounds of my Unitarian faith that I came forward with, again, what am I left with? What do I do with this? I don't know what I do with this. So I always try and pick up these particular days to speak, because that's a fire that I have definitely passed through and hopefully can provide some insights for you guys here that choose to come to this congregation for a reason. And then to also introduce the idea for those of us or those of you that have maybe never been to a UU congregation before, because it's one of those Sundays that brings out people to go do the thing within the bounds of our culture. So presenting things from that, why here? And what do we have to offer? And what can we bring you? So that's kind of where I'm looking at as far as our ability to rewind and reset, reframe, and then rejoice. I am constantly in awe of the amazing gifts our faith has to offer the world, so beautifully embodied in our chalice. This little light of ours that can do so much with so little, to shine a light into the dark places that are around us. Here's where the symbol came from, the light in the window. It's okay. Come here. So I ask you to join me today in an exploration on this grand rising in so many ways of the possibilities our faith offer and how we can use the way we see the world to create and encourage heaven right here, right now. If we are open to do the work and encourage it to happen. So as the world around us, in both secular and spiritual ways, celebrate Easter today, where are we at in that conversation? What can we offer a world as this new day dawns? What drew me to originally 30 some odd years ago and continues to draw me to Unitarian Universalism is that we have this vast array of superpowers that I haven't seen in other communities of faith, particular spiritual practices that we engage with here that really create a unique experience. Now, I don't know how many of y'all have had an opportunity to explore other faith communities, go to other places of worship. Within the bounds of my academic career, it is something that I do as a social scientist. So just pop in on other people's way of being to see what they're doing. And then I'm outrageously curious as well. So I was talking to my students about that this week. I teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade STEM. So I try to engage a level of curiosity in my students when what they really want to do is be stuck in their phones. So I probably have the least technologically connected classroom of any STEM classroom you're probably going to imagine, because this is the computer that I want them to engage. So I tell them that when they walk into my room, they're like, well, what do we have? No, put the box away. No, we're going to go outside. Because I teach through the bounds of horticulture and engineering design. So we go outside and see the wonders of the universe. So even in that environment, I'm still bringing my Unitarian Universalist faith to shine, my little light, with my 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, and engage them in the joy of the world that's around us. Now, if we wanted to use service with that focus, spring, bring in my pagan background, do all of those other pieces, oh yeah, it's all over the place. New life, new this, new that, yep, good to go. I love the song this morning. It was so pertinent to that as far as how do we wrap our heads around what can be really outrageously awkward. You know, this Jesus guy and everything that's going on with him associated with that. What do we do with that? Oh, I said the J word. Careful. Okay. There'll be more of that. So hang on with me. Okay, hang on. Not like probably full trigger warning, but it's okay. Breathe, remember, okay? So there's really a uniqueness here. And then how do we deal with that? When we do spring and new awakenings and things like that, well, yeah, it's embodied in the holiday, this time of the year, the equinox shifts, things are growing, my plants are popping. I mean, my seeds can't help but pop out of the ground in the classroom. I've had more germinations in the last, week than I had like any quarter that I've had so far. That's my plan. My kids get to plant plants in the classroom. So they know, seeds know, it's time to grow. We see within the bounds of everything that's growing here, it's ready. It's early. Be careful. It got a little cold last night. So my tomatoes are like, what are you doing to us? So, but I told them it'll be okay. I gave them a blanket. It's all right. It's good to go. So one of the uniquenesses here that I haven't found anyplace else in our religion or our ways to see, be, and interact is this superpower that we've got of being able to look at things through a whole new light. And then working to hopefully remember that we have that capacity. So wherever you've come from, however you find your way here, whatever you have gone through, we have the capacity to rewind, figure out what's going on for us personally, and then move forward in that in a good way. So we rewind our narrative, whatever that is, and we do that constantly. And it's the pieces that we hang on to that hold value. And then the pieces we let go of following a nice Buddhist practice, right? Because we get to do that. We've got all of our sources. So that's another superpower for us, is revelation is open. And we get to look anywhere we want. Oh, okay. And again, as someone that grew up with the book, and that works for some folks, didn't work for me. I have that perpetual notion. They said that chalice should be a Unitarian Universalist symbol, but it could just as easily just be a big question mark. There it is. And then through the stuff that we talk about, we say that we look at the world around us in a sense of wonder, and that's what we grow within the bounds of our faith. And that we practice our way to be with a sense of curiosity. So we treat everyone that walks through our door, and if we're a little chatty, that's because we're curious. We want to know, hi, what brings you here today? Where have you been? We've been waiting for you. We've got a seat right here. Please join us. So this is part of what we bring. And then I had to include that rejoice component, which hopefully you don't have to be in a congregation, especially this congregation, to know that we're a bunch of happy folks. Even with everything that's going on, we still sing. We still look into each other's eyes. We still eat together. We still do those things. So it's our refreshing way of being, seeing, and connecting that opens us up to more opportunities, that embody, that opens us up to different ways to see, different ways to be, really practice that action verb that religion comes from. It's something we do. So we need to, from my perspective, need to embrace that and move forward and see how we can make it happen. So as we work to refresh, what are we doing there? We have this capacity to reevaluate, do these things, open up the sources. This is what it did for me. Because again, coming back to this holiday, it all stems from this notion of this guy that did this thing. Oh, he's God. Okay, all right. And this Yeshua person that puts forward this notion. But it all springs from the truth that I grew up with, that we're broken. We're flawed, created that way. We didn't get there to begin with. The whole apple and the story in Genesis led us in that direction. So I grew up with this narrative. And then I continue to see it spread because it's just human nature. I had another teacher at my school that spread that particular narrative. And yeah, I came a little unglued, maybe, and ended up having to leave the room because it was just not, and they did it in front of students, which was even worse for me. So Peter Mayer puts forth this idea. He's a wonderful singer from Minneapolis, St. Paul. He's got a song called Holy Now that I highly recommend y'all check out. So he characterizes a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down. And this was the narrative that I was fed from the age of 5 moving forward. I got my first fire and brimstone sermon, age of 5, kind of intense on a kindergartner. Yeah, therapy, anybody? Yeah, that's me. So original sin, the basis of our holiday in this whole thing, we have the sacrifice savior that gets gone through all of this ordeal and done this thing and has now been raised today to save us all. So that we could, the price has been paid so that we can be worthy before Creator, God, all that is. Okay, let's rewind, refresh, and then rejoice. So what happens if we rewind the story and say it never happened? Superpower engaged. Okay. Never happened. It's a story. You invented it. You gave it to me. Destroy, delete that, send that on its way. Now what happens? Oh, hey, Unitarian Universalists. You remove this linchpin. Oh, it gives me goosebumps. Now what happens? Original sin, need for redemption? Nope. No Genesis narrative, no fall from grace. It's not the way grace works, by the way, just so you know. It just happens. Grace happens. We can't get his, can't be taken away. It's just where it's at. But then what do we do with the rest of the story? Where does the Jesus, Yeshua story go now? What do we do with that? This has taken years of study for me to work through this and a lot of kinds of books. You want to come over to the house and take a look at that. I've got all kinds of stuff over there. But it was in a Unitarian Universalist church, much like this one, about the same size. That I attended a class in my bitterness and my angst at Christianity. This wonderful sharing of a book called Meeting Jesus for the First Time Again that I got to explore. Opened up a whole new world because they just started removing pieces. Rewind, refresh, rejoice, rewind. No miracles. Do you got to have those? No. Oh, okay, all right, keep going, keep going. And then all of these other components, and then you're left with a guy that had an insight, saw what the world could be, a connection to the all that is that other folks didn't have. And I was talking with Willow, my wife, last night about this, and it's like, it's not that he was trying to overthrow anything. He's trying to tell us that we could be who we are, where we are, when we are, and just be. What a message. No savior, no anything else. And then the Roman Empire gets all like nervous about it because, oh my gosh, people are actually listening to this guy and maybe they're going to decide they don't need us anymore. Yep, don't need your kings, don't need your emperors, don't need your empires. We're good to go. Thanks for playing. So they had to take him out like any other seditious individual. And then that continues our narrative and moves forward. So then what's our relationship with this individual? Can we re-engage with this holiday now? Can we step up and find meaning in this? And then with the ultimate goal of being able to connect to all the other folks that are out here doing this today, whether it's Easter egg hunts, or whether it's Passover, or whether it's being here in a building. Connection, reconnection. That's what we do. That's why you're here. Well, how do we expand that out? Both here within our congregations for those individuals that have come in from another faith. And did you know that there's only 8 to 10% of our congregants as a nation that are lifelong UUs? That's it. It's a rarity to find folks that have actually been raised in this faith, done this all the way through, and could potentially be sitting in our congregations now. It's a really low number. So that means that most of the folks that we have here came in from another faith or another way of being, or as is most of the case at this point, based on my research, from nothing at all. That's the biggest category now. So when we look at what we do and how we interact on this day and how we relate to this, where are we at? And who are we seeing and who are we meeting? Have we done the work to translate our previous pain into something that we can use to help keep our light shining? This is why I always advocate for lifespan religious education. This is not just our kids that need RE. And again, with that knowledge that we've only got 10 or 12% of the folks that have been doing this for a long time, what do you know about this faith community that you have walked through the door and are sitting in the pew? When we made the transformation to then it was kind of been at this a while. So our 7 principles and all that other stuff, it's like, no, this is what we're doing. Wait, did you just create a creed? What? No, what did you? Okay, and then does that even have a meaning? And then when we start having our conversation about covenant, what does that mean? Well, we see the covenantal relationship that other folks are dealing with the blood sacrifice made today. It's a covenant. It's an agreement. It's what we have and what we do. So what's our covenant? We're working on it, right? You know, what we're going through right now, reevaluating where we stand and what we do. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful process. And then we set aside these principles, but not really. Now we have these wonderful values with love at the center. And again, we put that forward because as an intellectual, while I enjoy our 7 principles and all those things that are put forward, it's a little religiously intellectual for most people. You could ramble them off. We taught them to our kids in RE, but what does it mean? I don't know. It's just something you say. Oh, no. We're not doing that. This, I think it's pretty clear. Love at the center, everything else surrounding. What do you stand for? And the rest of my research says that as far as the folks that are coming in now. And one of the issues that we have had with Unitarian Universalism is, what do you stand for? What are you offering? What can people take away? And as a faith community, I can quite honestly say it's been kind of lacking. As a religious education teacher, we taught everything else besides our own faith community. What does it mean to be Unitarian Universalist? How are we reframing? How are we reinventing ourselves as spiritual creatures? Because we get to. So I look at this: love and justice and generosity, pluralism, transformation, equity, interdependence. There's a big push not that long ago within the bounds of our faith to have your elevator speech ready, so that when you walk into whatever space you go and someone goes, so I understand you're a Unitarian Universalist. What's that? And sadly, because of the fact that we didn't grow up in the faith, there are actually few congregations that continue to run lifespan religious education. So how much do you know? When someone asks you that question, can you answer it? Sort of, kind of, maybe. Elevator speech. And you have to do it in 25 words or less. Good luck you use, okay? Just saying, we're a little chatty. Now, I have the joy of this. This is what we stand on. This is who we are. This is what we do. This is what drives our decisions. We get to do that no matter where you came from. Because the only one that I kind of miss is the first principle that says we are inherently worthy. We are inherently due dignity. But it's embodied in all of these other things. I just got to make sure that it's included. You are inherently worthy. You are not damaged. You are a blessed part of the all that is. So that's the message. That's the transforming message of today, this Easter day. As the stone is rolled away, and now that connection to the all that is that this first century Palestinian brought to us, trying so desperately to get through us in the message that for one reason or another, from my perspective, too many people in our congregations as a whole have set aside because there's just too much trauma there, too much damage, too much whatever. Take it back. The joy that I felt when I was finally able to reincorporate on my first 19 years in Christianity into something that was like, whoa. I can do this thing and it doesn't have to be converting people. I just have to share the good news. My evangeliar, this idea that I've got this message and oh my gosh, did you see the light? Oh, hey, yours is kind of low. You can have some of mine. So how do you see the world? How are you engaging? How are you connecting to the broader community? How are you engaging with days like this? Hard days for a lot of us based on where we've come from. Because the meaning was just not okay. A little trauma inducing from my perspective. So now I can sing Christmas carols again. Now I can see the risen day and feel the blessing of that. Because my Yeshua is not the Roman Jesus. Love at the center. I had friends of mine that commented, my own mom was like, wow, you may be more Christian than a lot of the Christians that are out there. That's the plan. Okay. So what's the plan? Engage, explore, learn. Set aside those things that don't work for you anymore. Figure out how to integrate those pieces. I guarantee you that from personal experience, it's worth the effort. Because I got to pick all of these things up back in a new way. And it wasn't baggage anymore. It was blessings that I get to share with other folks that are going down through the same stuff. And especially in today's age, the narrative that's being spoke, we are so needed, Unitarians. We are so needed, and our voice is so valuable. Connect to what you hold to be sacred. Don't shy away from any of it. You need to reprocess some stuff. Let's go reprocess some stuff. One of the things that I really miss in my congregations is communion. Well, what can that mean? Oh, remember we took away all that Genesis stuff? So now we just are sharing one body as we break the bread. And we share one blood as we share the wine. Now it connects us because we're all divine. All children of the all that is. So I'm for bringing all those ceremonies back. Let's do the thing. Let's make it happen. And know why we're going there. So that's the message I want to bring for you today. Rewind, refresh, reframe, and by all means, rejoice. It's a new day. Let's make it a new day. And one last thing I want to share with you, just as something that was shared from a previous congregation that I had in Dallas, Pathways Church, attributed to a lot of different folks, and there's a lot of UU mythology associated with this, so I'm just going to leave it with, the quote. Originally spoken to John Murray, spoken to him, not given from him, a UU minister from way back. And the quote says that I send you out with this good news, this light, this idea, reframe. It's good. Let's make it new, make it relevant, connect. Go out into the highways and byways of this country. You may possess only a small light, but uncover it and let it shine. Use it in order to bring more light and more understanding to the hearts and minds of men and women. Give them not hell, but hope and courage. Do not push them deeper into their theological despair, but preach kindness and the everlasting love of all that is. Go in peace. Thank you.
This is a song that Marty and I co-wrote. Marty, do you want to tell people a little bit about the lyrics?
Well, actually, most of my songwriting, there are a lot of different ways to approach that. For me, I just kind of noodle around on the guitar for a while and then kind of get inspired on what that message might be, and then I start writing words. This song, To the Forest Where I'm Known, I've actually may have been inspired a little bit by the PBS series going on right now. Ken Burns, Henry David Thoreau, his experience with nature. And that's where the lyrics for this came from.
Well, and when Marty told me that he had some lyrics but just couldn't come up with a tune for them, I was reading through them, and all of a sudden, the tune just invented itself. And so that's how I created the tune, was just by what the words sang to me. To the forest where I'm known. There's a whisper in the pine trees, calling soft for me to roam. I've been walking for a long time, but the forest feels like home. With the moss beneath my footsteps and the river running strong, I don't need a road to guide me. I've been home here all along. Home is in the forest, where the tall trees stand in line, where the sunlight falls in patches and the breeze is warm and kind. I may wander many places up the hill or far from home, but my heart comes back each evening to the forest where I'm known. Fireflies light the shadows as the daylight slips away. Every bird sings out a story at the ending of the day. Every leaf that shakes above me feels like family I have known. In the quiet of the branches,
tall trees stand in line, where the sunlight falls in patches, and the breeze is warm and kind. I may wander many places, up the hill or far from home, but my heart comes back each evening to the forest where I've known.
There's a waterfall that greets me with its steady, gentle roar, telling tales in silver voices as it spills upon the shore. When its cool mist falls around me, I feel peaceful to the bone, embraced by mystic harmonies. I remember I am home.
Home is in the forest, where the tall trees stand in line, where the sunlight falls in patches, and the breeze is warm and kind. I may wander many places, up the hill far from home, but my heart keeps back each evening to the forest where I've known. Home is in the forest, where the tall trees stand in line, where the sunlight falls in patches, and the breeze is warm and kind. I may wander many places, up the hill or far from home,
But my heart comes back
each evening to the forest where I know.
So I'd like to thank everyone who made this service possible, which includes everyone here and on Zoom. And now we can actually applause. Thanks to Eric for his message. Thanks to Miriam for the generosity update and all the good news. Thanks to Candy and Marty for their music. Thanks to Elena for her accompaniment. Thanks to Gilletta and Jill as AV hosts. Thanks to Roy and Linda for greeting. Thanks to me. And we'd like to take a quick moment before the benediction to ask people to please put the hymnals back on the chairs when you're leaving, and also please take any cups, papers, etc. with you. The people who clean up appreciate that. Thank you.
I invite you to please rise as you are willing and able, and hold hands or hold your palms out for our benediction. Bring this message, share your glorious light with the world, by James Morrison. Excuse me. Within each of our hearts, there is a most glorious light. Go forth and let its spark help you understand what troubles both you and others. Go forth and let its light be of reason, be a guide in your decisions. Go forth and bring its rays of hope to those in need of help in both body and spirit, that they might find healing. Go forth and fan the flames of passion to help heal our world. Go forth and spread the warm glow of love, pushing back the darkness of the world. Go forth and share your glorious light with the world. Blessed be. Go in peace with love for justice. So may it be.
Thanks.